So when we think about that definite crystalline structure, this is what we're talking about. And it doesn't mean that it's like crystals upon crystals. Normally when we think about crystals, we think like quartz crystals. They come with nice little pointed tops. But that's not really the only way that these crystals can occur. So what I'm going to show you guys here, I have a whole bunch that I have up here that I can pass around for you guys to look at. The first one is cubic. If we look at this image right here, this is actually a blue fluorite. So typically fluorite comes in a lot of different colors, but normally we're going to see it in a green and purple color. So right here is the green color. In fact, if you hold up to the light at the ends, you can see how it goes from green to white to purple all the way at the top. And you can see the very well-defined cubic structure to the crystals. So that's an example of a cubic crystal. The next one is called tetragonal. What shape does a tetragonal look like? Like a rectangle. So if it's a rectangle, call it tetragonal. And I don't have anything like that up here. No, definitely not. The next one is hexagonal. And so you can kind of see where the hexagonal comes into here. Well, if we look at this pink tourmaline sample up here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's kind of a loose definition there. We say hexagon. But tourmaline is by far the best example to use when talking about tetragonal structures. Or not tetragonal, sorry, hexagonal structures. We'll pass out on this. Little black piece right there that's called tourmaline. You can see what's really neat about the tourmaline is in the piece that's coming around, you can see a second piece of the black tourmaline crystal stuck inside the quartz matrix. Kind of neat. Next one on this list is called orthorhombic. And with orthorhombic, it tends to have a tabular look to it. Write that one out. So kind of tabular. What does that mean, tabular? Yeah, kind of thin, almost like a tablet. So anytime you see the word tabular, it kind of means like very thin, almost like a tablet. This beautiful mineral right here, this is called celestine or celestite. And it has this very beautiful, almost cobalt blue look to it. But when you look at the crystals, you can see how they're very thin, and that's going to be your orthorhombic, very thin crystalline structures. Okay, then we have the clinics. I want you to look at monoclinic. Compare that to triclinic. Look at the two images. What do you guys think is the difference between monoclinic and triclinic?
Maybe about 1 and 3.
Okay, 1 and 3. Okay, good. So that's a good start. Mono meaning 1, tri meaning 3. But 1 what? 3 what? Somewhat. Okay, notice that both these, if you look down here at the main body of the crystal, it has that hexagonal or tetragonal shape. But yet when we're coming to the point, the very tip of the crystal, how many faces do I have going to that point in the monoclinic? I only have one face going to the point. When I look at my triclinic, I have 1, 2, 3, or more. So the triclinic can have multiple points coming to it. Perfect example of a triclinic is quartz. And that's what I have here. So this particular quartz is citrine. and again, you might have some jewelry that's made out of this. And all it is, guys, what do you notice about this color? What's it look like? Kind of orangish, right? What does that tell you that might be in there? What is rust? Iron. So we had different forms of quartz, and that's because of the different elements that are thrown in there with the quartz. In this case, citrine is a very specific case of quartz where the orange color comes from a little bit of extra iron being thrown into the matrix. And that's an example of a triclinic. Okay, other questions so far? All right, so one of the things I thought you guys might find interesting is another example of hexagonal. It's this piece of aragonite. Typically occurs in clusters. Again, probably heavy iron content. You can tell that because of the reddish color that's in there. Now, these are not the only types of crystals that can form. We can get things that occur in hedrons. And all a hedron is an advanced mathematical term that means 3D. So polyhedron, many-sided figure. What we have here, this beautiful red crystal, is called the nanodite. And if you look closely at the crystals, they have an octahedron look to them. So it's kind of a neat one there. And the other one I want to point out, which is basically like the crystals you guys are about to grow by tomorrow, hopefully. And this one, I actually have no clue what this one's called. But if you look really closely at the way that the minerals line out, they kind of get the needles going out. So you have the vanadite, which is octahedral. You have this other green mineral that tends to have these radiating spikes.
Oh, days.